And fight fans joining us across the nation on Prime, we welcome you to the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Forum Boxing Incorporated, along with Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout is sanctioned by the former Pentacontinental Boxing Union, the Penta Boxing Alliance, President Thomas Hogan, Supervisor George Yoshinaga, along with the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is William Eastman, Executive Director Richard DeCure. Presenting to you at this time the judges scoring this bout from ringside: Gwen Adair, Fritz Werner, and Burton Gilliam. And introducing the referee in charge, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Lou Moret. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, the Penta Boxing Alliance Flyweight World Championship, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Presenting to you first the challenger on my left, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing black trunks with silver trim, and joining us from Alhambra, California, by way of La Venta, Tabasco, Mexico. His weight, the flyweight limit of 112 pounds. His record includes 31 wins, 12 losses, 3 draws, with 20 wins. Coming by way of knockout, introducing Mauro Bobby Diaz. And his opponent across the ring is the defending champion on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing green trunks with gold trim, fighting out of and representing our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. He weighed in at a ready 111 1/2 pounds. His outstanding record includes 22 victories, only 1 defeat, 15 wins, coming by way of knockout, recognized as one of the most exciting flyweights in boxing today, as he is ranked the WBC #2 contender. Introducing the Penta Flyweight World Champion, Mark Too Sharp Johnson. Once again, he's your referee in charge, Lou Moret.
Okay, remember, keep the punches up, okay? Listen to my commands, shake hands, and wait the bell. Good luck.
All right, the tail of the tape as we check out Mark Too Sharp Johnson. He's 2 inches shorter than Diaz, and he comes in a ½ pound lighter than the limit of 112. He's 23 and Diaz is 31, and he has an advantage of a couple of inches in the reach department. These are the rules that govern the Penta Boxing Alliance. 10-point must system to the winner. Loser gets a lesser number. Free knockdown is in effect. Standing 8 count is in effect. Cannot be saved by the bell. The referee or the doctor can stop the fight. Dr. James Jankin is the third man. Excuse me, Lou Moret is the man in the ring as the referee, and we're set to go. And that is Mark Too Sharp Johnson in the southpaw stance, and Diaz hits him with the right hand.
Tom, the last fight that we saw here of Mark Too Sharp Johnson was an absolute sensation. His battle with Leon Salazar was 3 rounds of nonstop war that had the fans on their feet, giving the fans, I can remember, in the first round, while the round was going on, the fans gave them a standing ovation. They didn't wait till the end of the round. While the round was going on, it was quite a war. And for the first time in that fight, we saw Mark Too Sharp Johnson really get tagged. In the second round of that bout, Salazar blasted him with a shot, and Johnson wobbled a little, but then came right back, controlled the bout, and stopped his man in 3. It was a great, great fight. But Johnson showed the willingness to go ahead and slug.
Yeah. And I harken back to the fight with Enrique Orozco in Las Vegas. And John Beirudi pointed out, and I think correctly so, Orozco, the guy we saw in Las Vegas that night, would beat most of the people in this division. And he and Johnson staged a virtual war before Johnson just took him out in about the 11th round. An unbelievable fight in Las Vegas. And it showed that night that Johnson can not only box, that he's not only quick of hand and foot, but he's got a great chin, because Orozco nailed him with some shots that would have knocked lesser people into the middle of next week. Unbelievable good fight. And Johnson, we think, is an unbelievably good talent. Of course, people talk about Ian Romero. Boy, I know I'd love to see it, and I know you would too.
Yeah, that would be a sensational battle. Johnson has shown more punch in recent fights than we thought he had early in his career, Tom. He's setting down much better on his punches now, but he still maintains the blinding speed that he has with his hands. So that's a pretty tough combination. Romero himself is a complete package as a fighter.
That's right. And he more than proved that in his win over the Colombian champion last weekend in Las Vegas. The longer that fight went, the better Romero got. In Johnson's case, the longer the fights go, the better he gets. And of course, he hasn't had to go the distance many times. Diaz is a 31-year-old campaigner who's got a great chin, does get knocked down. The history of Diaz is that he does get back up. Tough, willing to mix it up, will stand there and go toe-to-toe with you, given the opportunity. But a quiet, cautious, feeling out type of round here as you look at Johnson. Always colorful in his ring garb. He's always got a new set of trunks. Most of them spectacular. Round one coming to a close. Scheduled for 12, and we'll be back right after this. Out they come for round number two. Interesting by-play in Johnson's corner between rounds. Ham, his dad and trainer, telling him to get your rhythm going here. He wasn't too impressed, didn't like the way he performed in round number one. And then Lou Moret came over and said that the cup is a little high. And there was a little by-play and exchange there. The protective cup does seem to be a little high, but Johnson isn't the tallest man in the world. He's only 5'3".
Yeah, but up around the nipples is a little high.
Chopping right hand by Johnson, who is all business. I mean, stoic. Standing there now, Rich, as we've alluded to, flat-footed, settling right down and willing to exchange punches, and he's got Diaz against the ropes. And Bobby Diaz, B-A-B-I, is very happy to be in that position. He loves that kind of a fight.
Oh, yeah, he's very, very willing. He fought Raton Jimenez here not long ago, Tom, and he was the recipient of a headbutt. And Raton Jimenez is a WBO champion right now. And that fight ended up in a 3-round technical draw. It's probably the best mark on the record of Diaz.
Who's been in against some of the best in the division.
Including Too Sharp. In fact, that was the first time we saw Too Sharp Johnson really come to the fore, was when he beat Jimenez in a split decision, a close decision. And he did that as an underdog that night. Jimenez, by the way, as the WBO champion, has informed us here that he would like to fight the winner of this bout, whoever it is.
Well, that would be a classic matchup. But I tell you, the one that I think the nation would clamor for would be to see Romero in against Johnson. And Johnson, I think, is quite willing. If the price is right, well, I think they would jump in the ring against each other. Diaz in the black.
You know, they did ask Mark for more jabs in this round, and he has not delivered more jabs, Tom. He's coming right at Diaz, and he's crowding Diaz.
Busy all the time, though. Good chopping right hand. Johnson is the southpaw. He's in the green and the gold. And I think he may have hurt Diaz a moment ago. Chopping away with that right hand.
Mark Johnson makes for exciting fights, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Keeps coming right at you. And he's leveling off on Diaz here in round number two. And Diaz is showing the effects of a tough onslaught by Johnson. Walking right in on his man. Got a cut over the right eye of Diaz. And blood is flowing rather copiously down the right side of his face.
Right, it's right in the corner of the eye, and it's a good cut.
Well, Jimmy Montoya, who's as good as any cut man in the business, will be very, very busy between rounds here as Johnson tries to tee off on Diaz. They kind of shake hands a little bit. Diaz goes back to his corner, and that'll be a busy time for Jimmy Montoya to stop that one. Right in the corner of the eye. I saw no indication that a headbutt was involved. It obviously was a punch that opened that cut up, Rich.
Right, it had to be a punch, Tom. I didn't see their heads come together at all. Johnson was really doing a lot of crowding this round, and he found that his hooks were really working, Tom. Look at the roundhouse shots that he was landing, and he really landed well, rights to the body and to the head. And there's that left hook to the head.
And that might have been the one that opened that eye up.
got it. All right. Too relaxed.
What tell me you ain't getting to it?
Here, step over here.
Oh, bam. Step over here, bam. Give me the rhythm. Give me the rhythm.
I got it.
Let's get the rhythm going there.
I got
Let's
it.
go and give it up.
got it.
Let's go. Give it up there. And stop sniffing and walk.
Let's go.
They're after Johnson to get his rhythm going. His wife is about 3 or 4 rows behind us looking on. Got a young son. Class act in or out of the ring, this young man. And he really has been almost a forgotten flyweight. Nobody wants to fight him. They keep dodging him one way or the other. And
Well, that's a crime. And, of course, with the political chaos that encompasses boxing with the several jurisdictional bodies, Tom, you have ridiculous situations like the IBF actually dropping Mark Johnson from number 4 to number 7 after he beat Orozco at Caesar's Palace and knocked him out.
yes.
I mean, how ridiculous is that?
Diaz, the best thing maybe Diaz has going for him is Johnson has been tripping over that left foot of Diaz and has stumbled a couple of times, and the crowd, mistakenly I think, feels that Johnson has been hurt by a couple of punches thrown by Diaz, who has thrown some punches and is a very willing competitor, but blood continues to flow now from the cut over the right eye in the corner of baby Diaz, and again the blood flows rather freely.
And he's dead game, Diaz, no question about it. He wants to throw.
Yep. That is a very nasty looking cut. Johnson lands a left hand, driving Diaz back against the rope. Johnson, a southpaw, will sit right down and belch it. Takes a right hand.
That left hook by Johnson was a smacker.
Diaz, as we told you, has a great chin. He does go down, but more often than not, he'll get back up. Lumarut looking at that eye. This is only the 3rd round, scheduled for 12. Boy, the blood is coming rather freely now.
It's a bad cut, Tom.
It really is. If that cut were over just a 1/4 of an inch toward the center of the eye, why, he would have no vision, I'm sure, in that right eye, but it's at the corner of it rather than in the middle of the eyebrow. So his vision has not been impaired, but he knows it's there, and the blood is flowing. Johnson banging away inside with that left hand. Good left. Diaz game and willing.
Now the punches of Johnson are really getting sharp, Tom. This is what happens when he fights. As rounds progress, he gets sharper and sharper as the fight goes on.
Now he's switched over. He's fighting right-handed. Fighting in the orthodox fashion. Banging away at Diaz, who's taken some heavy punishment here in round number 3. And is going to have a long walk of about 20 feet back over to his corner. Crowd appreciating the efforts of both men. Mark Johnson clearly having the best of it. Doctor's now going into the corner as Jimmy Montoya works feverishly over there. Or I should say feverishly.
That's it, Tom. They're calling the fight. Dr. Robert Carnes will not allow it to go on anymore.
And, of course, Montoya, Rudy Tellez, they're unhappy about that. Jimmy says it can't be. They would go into the books as a TKO winner. Mark? Thank you. Mark Johnson, thank you. Mark Johnson, I must tell you about this little biplane, ladies and gentlemen. The last time he fought here at the Forum, we said, because he truly is a class act in and out of the ring, we'd like to have one of your caps. So tonight he presented Murata and I with a cap that says Johnson's Camp. We'll be back to talk to the champion right after this timeout. Forum Boxing is brought to you by Restore Automotive Products, bringing advanced technology to your car and truck through innovative automotive products. Well, Mark Too Sharp Johnson, impressive as Baby Diaz unable to answer the bell for round number 4 due to a very big cut over his right eye. And there's a very pleased and happy Mrs. Johnson. That's Samantha. And that's Mark's lovely wife. And they have a young son. Jimmy Lennon Jr. has the official time on the fight. Jimmy, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 3. Referee in charge, Lou Moret, stops the contest on advice of ringside physician Dr. Robert Carnes. The winner by way of technical knockout in the 8th defense of his title, and still champion, Mark Too Sharp Johnson.
Well, that is his 22nd win in a row. His record now 23-1, and